This is Earth. It's always been a little bonkers. From ancient empires to today's memes, absurdity is nothing new. So, to kick off this channel, here are 25 of the strangest, funniest, and most random history facts you've probably never heard. Let's dive in. In 1807, Napoleon celebrated a treaty with a rabbit hunt, except the rabbits, all domesticated, charged him instead of fleeing. Hundreds swarmed Napoleon and his men, forcing the Emperor of France to retreat to his carriage, defeated by a tidal wave of bunnies. Even military genius is no match for hungry rabbits. History 1, Napoleon 0. In 1386, a pig in France was put on trial for murder, complete with a lawyer, witnesses, and a judge. The pig was found guilty, dressed in human clothes, and hanged in public. Medieval justice didn't stop there. Animals from locusts to weevils face similar fates. Sometimes history is just plain weird. The Anglo-Zanzibar War of 1896 lasted just 38 minutes. Zanzibar's Sultan defied the British, who responded with overwhelming force. The palace was destroyed, the Sultan surrendered, and the war ended before most people finished breakfast. Blink, and you'd miss it. At President Andrew Jackson's funeral, his pet parrot Pole disrupted the service by swearing so loudly it had to be removed. Jackson had taught it well, maybe too well. Even in death, Jackson made a scene. In 1952, Israel offered Albert Einstein its presidency. He politely declined, saying he lacked the skills to lead people. He preferred physics to politics. Even geniuses know their limits. Roman Emperor Caligula loved his horse Incitatus so much, he reportedly wanted to make it a consul. Whether it was madness or mockery, the image of a horse in the Senate says it all. Sometimes, power goes straight to your head, and you're stable. Rome was wild. In 1820, tomatoes were feared as poisonous in America. Colonel Robert Johnson ate a basketful on the courthouse steps to prove everyone wrong, and survived. The crowd was stunned, and the tomato's reputation was saved. Sometimes bravery is just eating a salad. The groom of the Stool was King Henry VIII's most trusted courtier, because he managed the king's toilet needs. It was a position of power, not shame. Proximity to the throne, in every sense, meant influence. Royal privilege has its price. In the 1200s, Pope Gregory VIII declared black cats evil, sparking mass killings. With cats gone, rats thrived, helping the Black Death spread across Europe. A war on cats led to a plague. Sometimes, superstition is deadly. In South and Southeast Asia, elephants were trained as executioners, crushing, dismembering, or even slicing condemned prisoners. It was a brutal display of royal power. Public executions by elephant were both spectacle and warning. History isn't always pretty. The Volkswagen Beetle began as Hitler's idea for a people's car. Designed by Ferdinand Porsche, it was meant for Nazi Germany, but mass production only took off after WTF. The Beetle's dark origins contrast with its later image as a symbol of peace and freedom. Even cars have complicated pasts. In 46 BCE, Julius Caesar fixed the Roman calendar by creating a one-time year that lasted 445 days. He added extra months to realign the seasons. It became known as the Year of Confusion. Sometimes time itself needs a reset. The CIA tried to kill Fidel Castro in over 600 bizarre ways. Exploding cigars, poisoned milkshakes, even a booby-trapped seashell. None worked. Castro outlasted them all, dying of old age. Real life can outdo any spy movie. During Prohibition, the US government poisoned industrial alcohol to stop bootleggers. Bootleggers tried to remove the toxins, but thousands died from the tainted booze. The noble experiment had deadly consequences. Sometimes the cure is worse than the disease. Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived both atomic bombings, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Injured in the first, he returned home to Nagasaki only to endure the second blast. He lived to 93, advocating for peace. Some stories are almost unbelievable. The Voynich Manuscript, a 15th century book, is written in an unknown language no one can decipher. Its pages are filled with bizarre plants and strange diagrams. Is it a code, a hoax, or something else? It remains one of history's greatest mysteries. Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the building of the Great Pyramid. The pyramid was already 2,500 years old when she ruled. Ancient Egypt's timeline is mind-bending. Ancient is a relative term. President Lyndon B. Johnson often held meetings while on the toilet, summoning aides and politicians into the bathroom. It was his way of asserting dominance and saving time. Presidential power moves, taken literally. Some leadership styles are unforgettable. The 1985 discovery of the Titanic was actually a cover for a secret U.S. Navy mission to find lost nuclear submarines. Only after completing the classified job did Dr. Ballard have time to look for the Titanic and found it with days to spare. Sometimes history's biggest finds are just a side quest. The truth is stranger than fiction. When forks arrived in medieval Europe, they were condemned as sinful and vain. God gave us fingers after all. One princess was even blamed for her death after using a fork. It took centuries for the fork to become normal. Even tableware has a scandalous past. Hitler suffered from chronic flatulence treated with a cocktail of drugs including poison. His health woes were as bizarre as his politics were dark. Even dictators can't escape embarrassing problems. Bayer once sold heroin as a non-addictive cough medicine, even for children. It was only later they realized it was more addictive than morphine. Medicine's mistakes can be shocking. In 1932, Australia's military lost a war against emus, large, flightless birds. Machine guns couldn't stop them. The birds outmaneuvered the soldiers. The emus won, and the military withdrew in defeat. Sometimes nature wins. In 1866, Liechtenstein sent 80 soldiers to war and returned with 81. An Italian friend joined them on the way home. They saw no combat, gained a new citizen, and soon disbanded their army. The friendliest war in history. Not all battles end badly. In 1518, dozens in Strasbourg danced uncontrollably for days, some to death. Authorities encouraged more dancing, making it worse. Theories range from poison bread to mass hysteria. Sometimes you really can dance till you drop. Thanks for watching. Which absurd fact was your favorite? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know what weird history you want next. History is full of surprises, just like this channel. See you soon.